It's UPBOptionMillionaires.com on this Wednesday, the last day of October 2015. It is September 30th. S&P 500 futures, strong rally today. We pulled back in the middle of the session. That was quickly reversed. We spiked up just before the closing bell, ended just about at session highs. But we're pulling back after the bell here, and I think that's going to continue. Why? I remain bearish on this market. I don't think this 2% rally is marking a bottom. I see a lot of people this morning. We rallied throughout the overnight session coming out. It's like, hey, this is the bottom. I even saw it after the bell yesterday. Well, it made sense to buy the market here. So we'll see. Actually, it worked out good today. Of course, you had to get in while the market was open unless you're buying S&P 500 futures. Oh, we had the beautiful move up today, but look at this. Bumping up against trend line. You draw a trend line across from the Fed finger when the Federal Reserve did absolutely nothing. What is that telling the market? What is Caterpillar laying off 10,000 people telling the market? What is the PMI number out today from Chicago, huh? Big miss, folks, big miss. And also you look at Philadelphia, the Empire Index also showing weakness. Federal Reserve showing its hand by not raising rates. Of course, they're not going to say things are bad because the third mandate is confidence. The Fed needs to exude confidence in this marketplace. If they come out and say, hey, things really suck and we are backed in a corner and we can't do anything to prevent a market meltdown, what do you think is going to happen? The sell-off that's going to happen anyway. Of course, it's going to be a little more mundane, aside from a big spike down if they came out and talked negatively about the economy. If you look at S&P 500, I don't even have to draw the trend lines here. I don't have to draw any circles or anything. I'll just point them out. Adds a little nice little shoulder, a big head, another shoulder, folks. This looks like it's rolling over to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that sees this. I see everybody talking about the bearish sentiment. I think everybody's bullish here. I was like, oh, this is a great buy here. I don't know. It's rolling over. We had a beautiful trend. I talked about this for many years at Option Millionaires. Look at this trend. This is a nice uptrend. I don't know. It's pretty cut and dry for me. The trend has stopped. We're rolling over. Not to mention we have this wonderful bear flag going on. It's all coming together. It's like the A-team. You know, they get into trouble at the end. They put it all together, and we're going to pull back. I don't know where we stop. The first stop is going to be down to the October lows of last year. Let's get into some other charts. I don't want to take up all your evening, but let's look at the NASDAQ, the QQQ. We came to support here. Also looks very bearish. Nice uptrend from 2011, right? Here we are. We're starting to roll over. We topped. We have a nice, again, bear flag. We came down to support, but this looks like it's going to continue down to 90. How about this? The Russell, the small caps. Look at this, breaking through long-term support. I started to get nervous about this market. We broke the 120 level. Talked about this as being key. It was throughout 2015 when it broke. I got nervous about this market. You can see we pulled back below support. We put in this wonderful bear flag. Now we're breaking below it. This looks very bearish to me. First stop is going to be 102.50. Hey, you know what? You got to have a plan. My plan is to trade for downside. I was trading for upside throughout the trend. Hello, trend. The trend is your friend. The trend is now broken. Hello, I'm broken. I think next is going to be consumer staples, which is breaking down as well. Broke through support, 49. Putting in a nice bear flag, has not broken out of it yet. This is something I'd like to get into because it's going to look a lot like the IBB I've been talking about since the start of August. Talked about this beautiful head and shoulders pattern. We broke down out of it. Talked about this coming up to 360, a beautiful bear flag. This is what we're going to see for XLP. See this bear flag? See the resulting move to the downside? This has got more room to go. And look, the Federal Reserve was talking about biotech being a bubble down here. We're not even down in the mid-250s yet. We're going to get down there. So that's XLP. If you want to look at XLP, similar type pattern. This is the after of XLP. The current chart is the before. See this? This is the before. The IBB is the after. We're going to have a nice candle to the downside. Staples, paper clips, I don't care what it is, it's going lower. If you look at it, XLE, energy also, you want to look at the trend that is broken. This is a trend that is broken. I've been talking about this for many moons now. The trend broke, we topped. And look what happens after you top, you pull back, you put in a bear flag. You consolidate a little bit, you continue to the downside. That's what I see for this market. It doesn't help that a stock like Apple, the biggest company in the world, also putting in a terribly bearish formation. Today, lagging the market, absent the late day spike to window dress everything. Look at the chart here for Apple. Very bearish. This would be a shoulder, a nice head, a shoulder. It's clear as day. Folks, this right here, on its own, is a beautiful bear flag. This is pointing to a move to the downside. Carl Icahn comes on CNBC, says, maybe I'll buy some more. He thinks the stock's going to 240. You should be buying that stuff hand over fist. You'd be like, well, if it's going to 240, I'm going to buy it until it hits 240. Obviously, he's got something to sell. If he's telling you it's going to 240 and he's not definitely buying here, because we're pulling back. And the price will be under 100 into the end of 2015. That's what I say. Hey, listen, back in May of 2013, loved it for a move to the upside. Was one of the few people calling for the move. Look at this. Split adjusted down to $50. It's more than doubled. Now's the time to take profits, and that's what it looks like here from a chart perspective. Beautiful head and shoulders pattern. Talked about Priceline. If you look at some of the charts I put on Twitter and StockTwits, talked about the move we had a couple weeks ago. It got over 1,300. We pulled back. We had the flash crash. Again, 1,300. We're pulling back again. We're going to get down to the support here in this channel, and possibly, gosh, if things really start to get ugly, you can look at Priceline. It's going to be a tremendous trade to the downside, because if you look at another travel stock, Expedia.com. Look at this chart. I brought this up at Option Millionaires. Also, if you look at Twitter, just a beautiful pattern here. I am messing things up a little bit. Let's see if we can get this. Maybe that'll work. That's it. Oh, yeah. Beautiful topping pattern, folks. This goes back years and years and years and years. Wonderful. And I'm looking for support here at the 70 level when all is said and done. Yeah, the analysts aren't telling you that. They're very bullish on the name. But if you can see, when I brought this chart up, we were at the record highs for Expedia. It's been pulling back, and it's got a lot more room to go. It's going to take Priceline with it. I was talking about Facebook, too, a couple weeks ago at 96, even last week. Look at the move we're having here to the downside. We're at support. Trendline support has worked in the past. If this breaks, folks, bring it down to 72.50. That's where I see it going. The frenzied buying of just a couple weeks ago has turned into selling. Look at these candles here the last couple weeks. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Speaking of ugly, Caterpillar, the chart breaking out. Oh my goodness, folks, a 5-year weekly chart. Talked about this 70 level. Woo-hoo! We are way below it. This, to me, is your forward-looking indicator, folks. Caterpillar, cutting jobs. The stock is falling. The market tells you there's something rotting. There is something rotting under the surface. These spikes we're seeing in the upside for the market, they're not lasting. Caterpillar is telling you to sell stocks. Home Depot, look at this. Hi-ho, hi-ho. It's on its merry way, folks. People load up on silicone and glue for their floors. I don't know what they're buying these days, folks, but they've been buying Home Depot. And if it hasn't been the consumers buying Home Depot, it's the company itself buying back $18 freaking billion of its own stock. Just like Caterpillar 2 months ago says, hey, we're going to buy back $1.5 billion of our own stock. 2 months later says, hey, we need to come up with $1.5 billion to buy back our own stock. Let's lay off 10,000 employees to pay for it. It's the ass-backwards world we live in, where all that matters is the price of the stock. Hi, stock. We're moving up, and you can see buybacks have done well for Home Depot. I mean, probably the smartest investor right now in Home Depot stock is the corporation itself, been buying back its own stock all the way up. They feel good about themselves. They're a savvy investor. But if you look, I think Home Depot, if the market does indeed roll over, it's going to head back to $100. Another stock, similar kind of hi-ho, hi-ho. It's off the record high prices. Oh, no! Disney. Everything looked hunky-dory for Disney. My goodness. Everybody was getting some. And then we pulled back. And they put the princess to sleep. And there's no prince to wake her up. Look at this beautiful bear flag, folks. This is a $20 stock back in 2009. Has ramped sixfold as prices to get into the stinking park are $120 per person. And you wait an hour and a half to get a picture with a princess. What kind of unicorn world do we live in? So we're looking for a pullback here on Disney as well. You know what? I'm going to call it an evening because you can see where I'm headed here. I'm just starting to get a little more excited as the minutes progress. Now, one more chart we're going to get into. The burrito. Everybody talks about the bubble. I talk about the burrito. Look at this. Support. We're going to break through it. And when we break through, we're going to head back to the $600 level. This false breakout here for CMG going to bring us down to 600. The question is, when? All right, UPBOptionMillionaires.com. We'll see you in the chat room tomorrow. It's going to be another interesting day. China PMI. Look at one last look at S&P 500 futures before we get out of here. The 1-minute chart. You can see the top we had earlier today. The massive spike. Look at the volume here for the end of the day, and then we're pulling back here after the bell. We'll see if we get, look at this rally we had. This is the late day spike we had yesterday. Look at this. And then throughout the overnight, evening and overnight hours, this is constant buying. Hello, my name is Buy Everything. What's your name? My name is Short the Market. I'm just going to go hide under the covers today. And I'm going to end this because I'm just getting a little crazy. Too much coffee today. All right, see you in the chat room. UPB, goodbye.